What you're about to hear is Go Herping's first attempt at a podcast on the live stream where Noah's Ark Exotics and I asked for questions from anyone in the chat. The goal was to form this into an audio podcast that we could then re-upload onto the channel. Hopefully, I'll be able to do these more often, and I'll be announcing when the next one is, with a different guest. So, like I said, this is the first one of these, so there might be some unbalanced sound, or some echoing, or some music covering up different people, because this was kind of a test to see how it runs. Hopefully they'll only get better from here, but I hope you enjoy what we have for the first one. So the goal for this stream is to kind of have a live Q&A test where these will go up just audio, and then afterwards I can upload it separately so people can listen to it as like a podcast or something. I don't know how it'll go. We'll find out. Right now I'm with Noah's Ark Exotics.
Yeah, hi.
If anyone in the stream has questions, you can go ahead and start asking, and then if no one asks questions, I have some others that I can find on the channel, so hopefully this will go somewhat smoothly.
Yeah.
So let's see what kind of like questions, if it's I guess about us, and then about some sort of care or concern or something you have. If we know anything about it, then we'll try and help you out with that.
So J.K. Herp says, what is your favorite snake?
Gotta start out with the hard questions.
Yeah.
What's up, reptile lovers?
These are kind of common, but probably my favorite to find are like racers, because they actually get super defensive, so it's more fun to play with them.
Oh my gosh. I so wish I could live down there. You know, the only snake I've ever caught in my life is a garter snake, and it sucks.
I don't think I've ever found a garter snake, actually.
Oh my gosh. Garter snakes are so cool. They're like, we caught one that was so feisty. It was huge, though. It was like 40 inches long. It was insane. But I saw an eastern milk snake dead on the side of the road the other day, which sucked, but I've never seen one alive in the wild, so that's my goal for the next little bit, is to find an eastern milk snake in the wild. Here's my favorite snake, though, like what about your favorite snake in captivity? How about that?
That's my goal for the next
Burmese pythons, I guess they're kind of a popular one, but they're almost always so friendly and stuff.
Right.
They're like massive. They're like gentle giants. But
right, yeah.
That's really cool to see.
Yeah, those things are all illegal up here, so I can't speak for you, but I don't know. Down here, or up here, I guess, we've only got like some corn snakes are even illegal up here because they get more than 3 feet in length. So as long as the snake stays smaller than 3 feet, they're good, which is kind of
a worm
interesting.
Snake and nothing.
No, yeah, I know it's kind of weird, but I don't know. I think the coolest snake, though, like, I know it's kind of weird, but because I've never actually kept a snake before, because my parents aren't so fond of it, and I'm more of a lizard person myself. But as far as keeping snakes go, I really like corn snakes, just because of the look on the top of their head, the little circle thing. I don't know. It's really cool. Okay, here's another question from Snake Dude 1814, an actual question this time. If either of you could own a hot or venomous snake, whatever the heck that means, which would it be and why?
Hot's just another word for venomous.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'd prefer not to own a venomous snake if I don't unless it was at some sort of facility, because I don't really feel like risking my life with that. I have to be honest, cobras, they kind of scare me. They're really cool looking, but they are a bit scary. But maybe something like, maybe just a copperhead, I don't know, because they're such beautiful things.
Right, yeah. If I had to keep one, I'd have to say, I mean, I know all this stuff is illegal up here again, but if I had to keep one, it would be a timber rattlesnake.
Cool.
Just because of the beautiful patterns they have. Like, the other thing with snakes, and I know I'm probably going to answer a question, so I'm probably going to have to repeat myself again, but like ball pythons, I don't like morphs of ball pythons. I like the straight, normal ball python. It looks so cool. And I think almost like, I mean, morphs are kind of cool for some things, but I think that morphs kind of ruined it. You know, it kind of made it look different, and I don't really like that. But like just a straight ball python, and the same thing is for timber rattlers. Um, I think they look really cool with that kind of like brown and black with the little like orange stripes down, and it looks really cool.
Mm-hmm. I get what you mean with morphs, but I
Yeah,
have to admit I love looking at all the different, like, super weird morphs and stuff.
yeah. There is exceptions though. Like your corn snake is
Mm-hmm.
like an albino, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
See, that's the type. Like I don't really like normal corn snakes. I like albino corn snakes. That's
Mhm.
what they see. It's kind of like that's the kind of exception for me. Um, Oh my gosh, tons of questions coming in. Let's answer the next one. Um, J.K. Herps says that her favorite, or his or her favorite snake is the Aussie Death Adder. So
Oh,
that's
that's cool.
pretty cool. New Exotics asks, do you think tortoises and turtles need UVB?
I'm pretty sure you need it no matter what kind of turtle tortoise
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Just about every diurnal reptile is gonna need it
Yeah.
because they would naturally get sunlight.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, Jay asks, "What's the biggest snake you would get?"
I wouldn't mind going up to like a retic. I don't know. Maybe
Oh
someday.
gosh, yeah, maybe, yeah.
I
For
guess I need help
me,
with that, like
yeah,
handling it, so I don't
right,
die.
yeah. um, the thing is, up in Canada, like especially with all, like, I guess in the U.S. there's more responsible keepers than up in Canada. Because the fact that like in New Brunswick a little while ago, an African rock python got out of this guy's cage and strangled two kids to death,
Well, that
and that
sucks.
did not help our case, you know,
I
like
actually heard that just happened with like really common snakes like ball pythons.
right. Oh, I don't know. It's weird, but
Just
weird.
every little negative thing always manages to hook on to media.
I know. Yeah. Um, Here's a question from Caress Lepage OCSB. I am new to researching snakes, so I have a care question. If I were to get a snake as a beginner, should I get a corn snake or a ball python? Which is easiest to care for and above all friendly? This is where I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Well, they're both probably like some of the friendliest snakes on earth. Ball pythons, I mean, if you want. Well, ball pythons they're about the same length, but ball pythons will get a lot thicker. So they're heavier and might need a little more space. But, wait, so. Oh, for friendliness and care, I'd say corn snake care is a bit easier. Just because they don't, like, usually the heating in your house would be just fine for them. Ball pythons need extra since they're from Africa. But, really, either way, you're gonna have, like, a ton of fun with them, and they're both just super easy. And as long as you handle them properly and are just nice to them, they're both gonna be really friendly.
Right, yeah. I actually never held a corn snake. I see. This is where the need like useless information comes in here. A corn snake. I mean, I don't know. Patterns on corn snakes, I think, look a bit cooler. Like they've been. I want to say they've been around a bit longer than ball pythons, but I've got no idea. Just
Probably.
because of how many morphs have gone through them. So I think they're like all the patterns and stuff are good for them. So if you're looking for more of an, I mean, I hate to say this because goes against everything I stand for, but if you're going for an aesthetic kind of point of view, then corn snake might be definitely better. But like ball pythons, they always curl up in a ball and they look so adorable, you know, like with their eyes. I've only held a ball python. I've never held a corn snake. I held a ball python at a pet store, the Good Pet store by my place I was talking to you about, and I helped them to make sure that it didn't have any mites on it, which was really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And it had one on it, which was interesting. I got to see a mite and how they deal with them. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And the ball python, I was so scared of it, like striking at me, but I mean, it was really docile. So, I mean, from personal experience, I think ball pythons are very docile, especially because they tend to curl up in a ball more than
Yeah, they're also
attack,
just
I think.
slower.
Right, yeah.
Like
Um,
my ball python, about a week after I got him, I was cleaning out his enclosure overnight, and I put him in like an insecure enclosure, and he managed to push the top off. But when I looked to see that he was out of the enclosure, he was just curled up in a ball in the middle of the room.
yeah,
And yeah,
yeah, exactly.
corn
So,
snakes, they can, if it's very easy to avoid them escaping, you just have to properly set up their enclosure and maybe put like some latches. But they are thinner and they're a little bit faster. So
right. Well, it's like when I got my leopard gecko, my parents didn't, like, they knew nothing about reptiles. So they made me get a lock for the top of its cage because they thought it was going to somehow get out. And, yeah, I mean, it didn't really matter to them because, they didn't really do the research, right? But I made them happy, so I got the locks, which ended up using for stuff later on, so I guess, yeah, it would be better. So, a whole bunch of people recommend corn snakes in the chat, which is interesting. I've also heard that from many people, ball pythons can be pesky feeders. Is that true?
that yeah, that's pretty true.
Yeah, okay. Huh.
Because they go off. Well, I guess in a way it's kind of convenient because you won't buy as much food or go through as much. But every single breeding season, my ball python goes off feed for about 2 months or so.
Okay.
Some people go off feed for like 6 to 8 months, but they can go a really long time.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, because I don't have, like, with my reptile or my lizards, I have no problems with that kind of stuff because they don't really go into brumation. My bearded dragon hasn't gone into brumation yet, at least. So hopefully, maybe she will, maybe she won't. I don't know. How are the two people speaking? I know one is Go Herping. How? Oh,
I think it's
who?
go.
Who?
I don't know
Hi,
who that was.
I'm Noah. Noah's Ark Exotics. You can.
I should
I'm in
probably
the.
link you.
Yeah, well, maybe. We passed all the ball python stuff.
Oh, happy birthday, Snake Dude. And hi, Neela. Hello.
Yeah, Neela. Shout out, please. She wants a shout out.
Shout out to Neela. Hopefully
Yeah.
that is substantial.
um, JK Herps, what state do you live?
I'm in North Carolina.
I'm in the state up north called Canada. It's where we ride polar bears and live in igloos. No, but seriously, I'm in Ontario in Canada, so it's a province that's probably bigger than most states in the U.S. Yeah, so another person asking for a shout out. Should we give him a shout out?
Just scroll up in chat and subscribe to anyone asking for a shout out. Just
Yeah, good idea.
subscribe to everyone. Why not?
Yeah. Um, J.K. Herb says the biggest snake I would get is a brown snake.
Brown snake, like the American brown snake, or like an Australian brown snake?
Should we give him a shout out?
Because those are pretty different.
Yeah. Well, one of them can kill you. So I'd say they're pretty different. Although he's got on his logo a picture of a rattlesnake, so I'm assuming he is looking to get a brown snake. Yeah, I don't know.
Just get both. Why not?
Yeah, get both, see which one you like best. Why does my ball python like climbing so much? I'll turn this over to you as well.
Well, I know mine is especially active when it's breeding season for looking for his girls, but unfortunately he won't find any. But I guess pythons generally are a little bit arboreal.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna think, cause when I
Which
think
means
of
they live in trees and stuff sometimes.
right, yeah, yeah. Here's a question from Neela again. How many toads do you have?
I have 7 right now. I had
And they're
8,
the
unfortunately.
firebelly toads?
No, it's American phallus and oak toads. Unfortunately, I did have that one escapee a while ago. It was the only animal I've ever had like permanently escape. So sadly, it went down to 7. But all 7 of those are doing really well. So
That's good. Yeah. Is there any nocturnal tortoises or turtles? Do you know, or should I Google it?
I don't think so, but you should Google it because they
All
can
right.
take my word for it.
All
Let's see
right.
what else.
Let's Google this.
Snake Dude said all turtles and tortoises are diurnal.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Snake Dude.
It's Mr. Froggy Games' birthday tomorrow, so happy early birthday.
Yeah.
And
Do you know, or should I Google it?
let's see.
Another shout out. My sentence earlier said how are two people speaking, and so when I meant who are the two people? Yeah. So we already answered that.
Here's another question. What's your opinion on the Lacey Act? This might take all day.
Hold on. This is U.S. politics. Fill me in.
Well, it still can, like, I guess, just affect the herp community. Well, there's a lot of parts to the Lacey Act, like the most recent part with the amphibians, where they're trying to avoid the fungus spreading and that stuff. The problem is, since it's illegal to take over states, if someone's forced to move, like if, I don't know, if my parents had to move for work or something and I had one of the salamanders, then I'm forced to go with them. So if I can't find a home for my salamander because no one wants it, since they can't take it over state lines, I'm either going to have to kill it or release it. Most people that support this say that you basically have to kill your own pet. And I don't think people are going to do that. So what ends up happening is people are going to release them. And as those are released, that's like exactly what they wanted to avoid. Because, yeah, hopefully you see what I mean by that.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I just got in for the last bit. So basically, like, do they have, like, checkpoints on state lines or something, or?
I doubt, well, I guess certain states will, like, if you're moving a lot of stuff, they could potentially check your stuff, but,
Oh,
I mean, either way, if you do just manage to somehow get caught, it's, like,
yeah, see, like, in
potentially a
Canada.
little bit of jail time and a lot of fines.
Right, yeah. Like, in Canada, usually, laws like that are, like, countrywide kind of thing. So that way there's not, hold on, what was I thinking? I was thinking of, like, there's, like, laws, like, I'm sure it's the same in the United States, like, at one point, like, certain, like, towns or provinces would have, like, the same, like, they would have different laws regarding, like, pets and animals and stuff. But then, like, the government came in and imposed, like, their big laws, and then every place would need to follow through with it, right? So, I think that's kind of similar. Hold on. Another guy, or Snake Dude again, actually. Let's keep going with these questions. There's so many of them. I have had a friend who had a ball python go off feed for 2 years. Oh, that's not a question, but
I'm surprised I didn't know they could live that long off feed.
yeah, he said it finally started eating again, which is good. Hey guys, should I get a
Herper's Guide.
okay? So Richard Lane says, should I get a corn snake or a rainbow boa?
Those are quite the two options.
Yeah.
Like, not at all related.
I know. I'm gonna say that you probably haven't had a corn or any snakes before if you're thinking about the two, unless you're really thinking about the two and, like, seriously, like, you've never had a corn snake before.
Those
Then
are great beginners. Rainbow boas, I'd say intermediate. I'm
Yeah.
kinda hoping to get one sometime soon. So.
that'd be cool. Yeah. Legal up here, but whatever. Yeah. It's funny though, 'cause there's no shortage of people selling them up here. Don't get me wrong. Like you guys have, like, Craigslist or whatever, and we've got, like, Kijiji or whatever, and it's basically the same thing. And that's where I got a lot of my reptiles in the past. But the interesting thing is that I've seen, like, just the other day I saw a retic for sale. And a rainbow boa, even though those are, like, the most illegal animals in our country, they still find their way up here. I see people selling dubia roaches, which are illegal up here as well.
Like, if since you do live in Canada and you didn't know about that, and you bought that dude's dubia roaches, would you get in trouble or would he? If you know.
Probably both. just because he's selling them
Mhm.
and I'm buying them. So they're my possession now, and he's also in possession of them, and it's kind of like a possession crime, I think. So, if he got caught before I got them, then it'd be different. I mean, I don't know. Um, Here's an interesting question: are you gonna brumate your box turtle?
So I'm still not 100% certain if I'll be keeping it, but say I do, probably not. I've looked at people talking about like hibernating their animals online, and it sounds like it can be pretty difficult and dangerous, since if they like wake up from hibernation and you don't know it, they could potentially be losing weight. So I've never done that with any of my animals, but I probably won't.
Okay. Just quick personal question for you. Not really personal, but just like me to you kind of thing. Um, have you ever like I saw your video about when you talked about you keeping animals from the wild, whatever. Anyways, the point is, um, uh, did you keep the box turtle specifically because it was like injured or sick or something, or did I miss that somewhere?
He did have that like that vitamin A deficiency
Right.
that I had
Yes,
mentioned.
I remember
So
that.
it was
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
and then a mix of like the fact that he had no ecosystem anymore. So there was no ecosystem losing anything, and he wasn't like losing his ecosystem by me removing him,
Right.
either
Yeah.
temporarily or permanently.
Yeah. The other thing is that we used to have box turtles up here until they all decided to travel south forever. Um, yeah, they. I don't know. I've never actually seen one before. I saw an eastern box turtle at a zoo though, but that's it. Um, anyways, here's another question. Confetti Cloud asks again. Um, should I get a corn snake or a ball python? We've already answered that question. You can rewind the stream and go see the when we answered that question. But they also ask any tips on convincing parents.
Mm, I feel like I need one of my parents to answer this. I guess I feel like what works best is just like displaying as much information as you physically can, like from care to how long it lives and everything, and just show that you're prepared. Like, go ahead and see how much money all the supplies will cost, and if you'll be able to cover the price, and just like every little detail that they maybe even didn't think about, just so they have to do less thinking. Maybe that could help. Um,
Yeah. If I can just
Eliminating stress on their side, so they understand that they don't
right.
have to be involved if they don't want to be.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. See, like, I guess my mother is a little like she doesn't like snakes. Like, she doesn't like snakes, but at the same time, like, as much as I want to get a snake, I have to think like, okay, I have 4 lizards right now, and I'm complaining that I want a snake. You know? I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, I don't feel like talking about that kind of thing. Like, as far as how like just reptiles in general. Just like a lot of parents have some kind of stereotypes over reptiles, I think. So if you kind of help them get over some of those stereotypes, it will definitely help to like smooth things over. Yeah. Corn snake, easier care, not as pesky when it comes to eating. Sometimes, come on. Sometimes.
Sometimes snapping turtles can be nocturnal. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Okay.
That's
Cool.
cool.
We can barely hear you, Alex. Please speak up or move closer to the mic.
Yeah, is it better now?
Yeah, that
Also,
sounds
can you hear any
actually.
music? Maybe you can. Maybe it's too loud or too quiet. I don't know.
Okay. I found several snapping turtles several times a night. I actually saw a video of some guy looking for snapping turtles at night. Okay. So maybe they are nocturnal. Okay, that's pretty cool. Although I guess finding
Don't follow
snapping.
rules. They just sleep when they want, go hang
Yeah.
out when they want. I don't know.
How often does your ball python use the washroom?
The washroom?
Yeah.
Oh. I think it's just based on how often you eat, how often you feed him. So he eats about once a week, so I'll have to clean out some poopies once a week.
Yeah.
So, it's really simple though.
Right, exactly, yeah. And the funny thing is with bearded dragons, like, their poop is so big. So it's like, it's fairly easy, and it's all in one pile. So it's fairly easy to pick it up. And ball pythons are probably a bit different. I mean, I don't know. All of my reptiles poop in different ways. Like my leopard gecko poops underneath the same hide. It's his bathroom hide.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, my Lacerda, it's a burrowing lizard. So my Lacerda burrows, poops, and then just like throws all the substrate all over the place. So it's really hard to find the poop, but every now and then a piece of poop will pop out of nowhere. So I'll just pick it up and remove it. Yeah. And then my my Uromastyx poops just all over the place. And then my hold on, have I gone over everybody? Yeah, I know, it's weird. I think that's everybody though. My friend's lizard, he's got a Sudan plated lizard. It poops pretty much the same way as my Lacerda does, because they're both burrowing lizards. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to find out how other people's lizards use the washroom, isn't it?
Yeah, something you don't expect to hear when you join the Herp community.
Apparently, mud and musk turtles can also be nocturnal in the summer as well, which is interesting. I've never done any research on this, so blame Herper's guide if it's any at all.
No, I'd probably trust him more than just about anyone else in the streams.
That's true. He's pretty cool. I've seen a lot of his videos actually. New exotics. I have seen people breed and raise baby and adult red-eared sliders and other turtles and tortoises without UVB. What is your say on that? P.S. He has no problems at all. Oh boy.
The problem about UVB is you're not going to notice a problem until it's essentially too late, because I think it's called MDB, some sort of bone disease.
Metabolic bone disease?
Yeah, it'll develop over time, but you really won't notice it until it's really bad, and it's going to be expensive to fix, so it's best to be safe and go ahead and get them the UVB they need.
Right. It's interesting because, like, I mean, so they're starting to say that, like, leopard geckos, they could use UVB, but they don't need it. Like, as long as you're providing them with, what's it called? Like, calcium with, D3. Yeah.
The problem is their eyes are so sensitive because they're nocturnal. So
well, yeah.
It might bother their eyes if they have too much UVB or something.
Yeah, they're... Whatever. We'll wait until somebody actually asks that question, because I know somebody's going to ask that question, and then we'll go into detail. Hold on. I'm a box turtle breeder, and I have 26. Holy crap.
That's my box turtles.
A mix of ornates, Floridas, Easterns, and three-toes. I brumate them every year. I still feed them, they just don't get fed as much. I feed them probably once a week.
Oh, okay. Do you have to change, I'm guessing you have to change, like, temperatures and stuff? I really haven't looked into that.
Yeah, I think brumation is like, because I remember looking at stuff like for brumating captive garter snakes, because at one point I figured, you know what, I could probably keep a garter snake in captivity, but that quickly went down the drain, along with a lot of other ideas I had. But like brumating, like basically you put them in a cooler habitat. Like you can brumate a whole bunch of reptiles. I don't know, a whole bunch of different reptiles. It's pretty cool. Okay. Do you have a count? I think in your last reptile room tour you had a count of how many reptiles and amphibians you have, right?
Let's see. Right now I have 6 reptiles, 7 amphibians.
So for a total of 13. So this is a herper's dream question. So his question, yeah. So I've got 4 reptiles, no amphibians. We've got like 4 fish tanks. So that's different, I guess. It's not really your question, but anyways, I figured I'd add that. I really want to get an amphibian though. I really do, because they're pretty cool. Another guy asks, what does brumate mean? And I'm pretty sure I know what this means. It's just basically like when reptiles, it's kind of like reptiles hibernation. it's different than in like mammals and stuff.
I guess kind of just the word for reptile hibernating.
Yeah, and it's not really that they hibernate because they're not like reptiles are still somewhat active. Like they're more active than not amphibians, than mammals would be if they were hibernating. Like I mean, I know if they're in hibernation, they're still a bit active, but brumation is more or less like they're like half in hibernation almost. They're kind of like still kind of drowsy almost. I
It's
like
like
to.
slowing themselves down.
Right, yeah. Um, what would you say would be ball python red flags on how you can tell if a ball python is sick? So basically, like, how would you tell if, like what are,
symptoms.
yeah,
I'd say the most common would probably be like respiratory infection if your humidity is not right. It's basically just looks like a person that has a cold, like they might have a runny nose or watery eyes, basically just stuff around the face. And I mean, you just want to check your snake down, like to make sure all its scales are intact, it's not missing any, there's no like stuck shed. So those are the most simple things, just if anything looks or feels abnormal. It might be something simple, but it's still worth going to figure out what it is, whether
Right.
it's online or at like a exotic vet, except exotic vets are so overpriced, so.
I know, are you kidding me? I had to take, when my African fat tat was still alive, I had to take him twice. It cost me $200 and he still didn't make it, so. Yeah, that's why my parents say, you should really become a reptile vet. You'd be like rolling in the money. So, okay, here's an interesting question. Top 5 best pet reptiles in your opinion?
That's so like just any reptiles.
Any reptiles. Like, and I guess it doesn't need to be, like, they weren't specific, so I'm going to assume they mean, like, any reptiles, not just in captivity, unless you want it to be in captivity.
Yeah. Well, I guess for keeping, like we already said, corn snakes and ball pythons, they're both super common, but super easy and great if you're starting out.
Right.
Lizards, blue-tongued skinks are becoming a lot more popular, which I think is exciting.
Yeah.
Because they have such unique personalities, like every single one. Their food's a bit more complicated, but their lizard you'll kind of see more often, I guess, because a lot of other skinks tend to burrow, which they will some, but not as much.
Right.
And then stuff like leopard geckos and crested geckos, kind of all the common stuff are probably the best right now.
Right.
I guess that's why they're common.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, okay, first of all, I can't put blue-tongued skinks on my list because unfortunately I'm not allowed to get one because they look like snakes. So, they're not really on my list. I guess, I mean, on the top of my list is leopard geckos, just because they're the best. I mean, in my opinion, nothing compares with leopard geckos, like, not even remotely. Another thing that I wouldn't add onto my list is a crested gecko. I don't know why, but they just don't have, like, first of all, they're kind of jumpy, which I don't think is the easiest to be handled. I guess they can be tamed down, but they jump, and for some people that can be a bit difficult to maintain, kind of thing. The other thing is they require an arboreal terrarium and lots of humidity, which I think can be difficult for some people to maintain. Despite people saying they're a popular pet reptile and they're easy to care for, a lot of people will get them and not really do much research, and then eventually it will lead to the demise of that reptile, which really sucks. Because they're like, I appreciate them. They're not something that I would want to get just because crested geckos, they're, I don't know, they're kind of, like, they lose their tail and they don't grow it back, so my friend calls them really weak lizards. But, I mean, I don't know. Besides leopard geckos, I mean, bearded dragons are probably number 5, like, at the very back, just because they're, like,
They
you
don't
need...
seem as easy as people think.
Yeah, and they need UVB and a heat lamp, and you need to make sure the temperatures are right. You need to make sure they've got proper basking spots, and they grow out of their basking spots fairly quickly. And you need at least a minimum of a 40-gallon tank, which for some people can be difficult. Like I've got a 47-gallon. Really, it's like almost a 50-gallon. So I don't know. That's just my personal opinion on them, but I don't know. Fill the other ones with whatever reptiles you want.
Just to stick, I was thinking of making a video about reptiles you shouldn't get as beginner, like the worst beginner lizards or something. Because green anoles, I just see them like everywhere.
Oh
They're
yeah.
only a couple dollars, but they have quite the complicated care.
Yeah, they do.
So I don't recommend green anoles if that's going to be your first lizard.
Right. So even like, I don't know about you guys down south, but up here we've got Bahamian anoles as well.
Oh, I haven't heard of this.
Okay. They're like, they look like green anoles, except their dewlap looks like a watermelon. Like it seriously does. If you look up a picture of it, it's like their dewlap literally looks like it's green at the bottom, it's red, and then it has like dots, like black, like lines in it. It's weird.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they're from the Bahamas too, which is interesting. But I don't know. Like my friend actually bred green anoles like once upon a time, and so it's pretty cool to go back, because he bred green anoles, and he was really small though, and he lifted up the hide and saw that there was all these eggs in there, and he got so excited he dropped the hide on top of all the eggs and killed them all, which sucks. I know, and he wasn't too happy after that, and he'd even built his own incubator and spent all that time, and they never bred since after that. The other thing is he had like a long-tailed grass lizard, and it was like an inch short or a centimeter short of the world record for the longest long-tailed grass lizard. So, and he's actually, I'll wait till that until we get into another question as well. What's your favorite reptile or amphibian?
Just out of anything?
Out of anything. Just
millions of options. Probably some of my favorites are like monitors, like savanna monitors and water monitors.
right.
They just look so cool. I first saw them in one of Steve Irwin's documentaries, and I said that I'd get one someday. I saw one at Repticon also, but I'm not prepared to own one of those.
I've never seen one of Steve Irwin's documentaries. Never. And I probably have to.
I just watched some like last week.
Oh my gosh, that's so weird. I've never done that. I didn't even know who he was until we had to do some project on him in grade 7, which is... I have several videos of mud, musk, and snappers being found at night. I love the stream, Alex. Gotta run, man. So that's Herpers Guide saying adios.
Okay,
Long time ago. He's probably long gone now, but whatever.
Do you guys like inverts?
Oh, yeah, I was going to go back to that. So, how about you? Do you like inverts?
Most of them kind of scare me.
I like
okay
inverts
looking at
as
them through,
food.
like thick enough glass, but I choose to avoid them.
Right,
They're
yeah.
cool though, but...
I like them as food, like for my reptiles, but I don't know. Inverts, like tarantulas. I mean, I don't like spiders, okay? Like, just, I'm getting it out there. I don't like spiders,
I
but...
can respect them, but
Yeah,
I
exactly.
like to avoid them.
Yeah. But if they're on my bedroom wall, then, it's like I remember one time I saw a spider to my right of my computer desk, and it was just instinct for me to just like reach my hand out and just smack it on the wall.
Just with your hand.
Just with my hand. Like the guts are still on my wall to this day. And it reminds me of my mistake that I made that night. Okay.
Deepest regrets.
Yeah.
Get a salamander.
Yeah, I was gonna say I get a salamander. I so want a salamander. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring one back the next time and keep it downstairs. I mean, the habitat around my house is perfect for them. They're just nowhere to be found.
I'm more into reptiles, but
Yeah.
maybe a salamander. I'm liking a little bit bigger reptiles now, but we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, like Okay. Well, I want to see if any of these questions pop up, because then it'd be better. I take them inside because winters in Virginia are bad, so I keep them in separate storage bins with damp jungle moss with a water bowl. What is Zachary Cheatham referring to? Hold on. Is a reptile equivalent to, hibernate, brumation stuff. That's what they're talking about. Okay.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, so some person just made a statement about brumation, saying that like a good way to brumate reptiles, I guess.
Yeah.
What then goes on to ask a question: what is the next herp both of you guys would like to get? Which is actually the question I was just about to ask you. If you were gonna get a herp, which one, which one are you looking at getting next?
Well, I'll be at Repticon in about 2 months. And if I do get something, I'm hoping for... wait, this isn't good, I don't know. Well, I've been looking at day geckos. I'm not sure how hard they'll be to find, but that would be cool for my smaller vivarium. And then maybe, I don't know, I've been getting really obsessed with looking at Uromastyx videos, so...
Well,
maybe
I mean,
something like Uromastyx.
if you ever look again in Uromastyx, I can always help you with that.
Yeah, I'll come back to you.
Yeah. I am actually there. I wanted to tell you because you said you were going to Repticon. There was a big reptile expo that I was gonna go to, but I actually had to go to a hockey game, which was interesting. But it was actually Canada against the United States, and Canada whipped you guys' butts. Anyways, there was a reptile expo, CRB, the Canadian Reptile Breeders Expo, and apparently Brian from Snakebites was there too, and I missed it, and I was so frustrated. But yeah, so my friend went, and he got me videos, so I'll be uploading a video on that sometime soon, because it's the biggest reptile expo in Canada. Anyways, but as far as what the next herp I would like to get, would probably be, I've been looking at this green amoeba, this pet store, for so long. Honestly, I don't think I'm gonna get it, but this is the one that I would like to get. Like, I've been trying to get a tank, and people are trying to sell me 20 gallons and saying they're 30 gallons, and it's insane. Or saying they're 40 gallons even. Like, I mean, I was hoping to buy a 30 gallon and say hopefully it was a 40 gallon, because a lot of people do that, but instead it was a 20 gallon. In fact, one person tried selling me a 40 to 10 gallon tank, and just said, you know, whatever, I can't be asked. Snake Dude 1814 is back. He's got another question. He says, what is your opinion on iguanas as pets?
I think the problem is so many people don't understand how intensive the care is. For example, which is why I don't have an iguana. And they also need... I really don't know much about them, but I'd say as long as people are actually giving them proper care, then it would be fine.
Right.
One of my favorite channels, Animal Art TV, he had a rescue iguana which sadly died because it was in... I think one, it was old, but it was also in really poor care before.
Right.
Someone that didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah. Well, my opinion is the same opinion as everybody else in Canada, which is that they are illegal up here. So, pretty much all animals are illegal up here. But seriously, iguanas, like when I go to zoos or whatever, and I look at an iguana, it's like such a beautiful animal, you know? Like, they're so beautiful. I mean,
Such
maybe...
bold colors.
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't know how somebody can abuse an animal like that. Like, just to look at this animal and just say, you know what, screw this animal. I don't like you. You can live in a crate in my basement or whatever. Like, I would, like, treat this animal as if it was my everything, and just, like, I see like on Instagram all these people who have iguanas, and like the things they do to iguanas, and I don't mean those things, like the good things, like, you know, like how they can train them, and how they can, how they're very smart, and they're almost like alligators, is like in that they're really, really smart. So, I mean, I think that it's almost like the reptile equivalent of a dog. A lot of people abuse dogs right now because they're so, prevalent in our pet industry, I guess. But honestly, I don't know. As long as you're, like you said, as long as you're taking good care of them, I don't really have a problem with it. Here's another question, though. Confetti Cloud again apologizes for asking another question. Don't apologize for asking other questions, please.
Then we're desperate.
Yes, totally desperate. Do you think pond cooters make good pets? I rescued a turtle that we originally thought was a yellow-bellied slider. Have you ever found a pond cooter or... yeah.
Pond quarter or yellow belly slider.
Yeah.
I don't really know anything about pond cooters. Are they in the pet trade or?
Well, I mean, the only cooter I know is I went to my Good Pet store and they had a peninsula cooter, and it's basically like, I think they're all related, so like they're all in the same genus. So red-eared sliders, yellow-bellied sliders, cooters, I'm pretty sure they're all in the same genus. Correct me if I'm wrong, but so they're all similar, but they're different, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're like I guess the care is probably similar, but it could be different. Just like as far as where they're located, like as far as the temperatures kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, okay. Here's this.
Oh, the other question. I think I've seen a lot of sliders at the Eno River, which goes to North Carolina.
Right, yeah.
They're too fast to catch, so.
Okay. Daniel Reptile says...
I have to read this in a screaming voice because he used all caps.
Yeah. The vitamins with D3 are bad. Can I just use the one without D3, or should I buy the multivitamin too? I'm not sure if this is a...
What?
Okay.
You can start.
I'm not sure if this is a question or a statement or both. Okay. First of all, the vitamins with D3 are bad. That's not true. I'm just gonna go off the record and say that's definitely not true. Like, my leopard gecko, which I've had it's been alive for about 14, going on 15 years now.
Wow.
First of all, he's been on sand his entire life, apparently, since he was a little hatchling. And second of all, he's been on vitamins, or before I got him, he was simply on a dozen crickets a week, once a week, with calcium with D3 dusted every single time. And that's how I took care of him for a long time until I decided I'd spice up his diet kind of thing. I mixed in some worms with his diet. He's now completely on worms now, thank goodness. I don't want to see another cricket in my life. I might give him to him as like a supplement. D3 is definitely not bad. It's just another vitamin. It acts as kind of like it takes the place of the UVB. For reptiles like leopard geckos. So he says that almost like a statement. Then he asks, can I just use the one without D3, or should I buy the multivitamin too? Now this is where it gets kind of iffy, because I've got both. I've got all three, with D3, without D3, and multivitamins. Now, most multivitamins out there actually do have what is it that's bad for reptiles? Phosphorus, I think.
Maybe. I'm not exactly sure.
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure most multivitamins out there have it. So that's one thing you're gonna need to be careful with. I'm not sure if in the U.S. it's different, but I've got what's the brand? It's like Reptile or something.
Yeah, I use Reptile.
Yeah.
And I think that one's really good. It's really popular too.
Yeah. It's like Herptivite.
Mm-hmm.
Herptivite, that's the name. That's my multivitamin. My calciums are both Zoomed. I've actually still got the original calcium that I got with my leopard gecko like 3 or 4 years ago. So that's kind of interesting, I guess.
So basically they need D3 either through UVB. Well, wait, what was this for? Was it for any specific animal?
No.
It's kind of like.
I mean, I guess.
In my recent video, I talked about blue-tongued skink diet, and I said I didn't talk about D3 in that because I'm going to be talking about their lighting, and they do need D3, but they get it through UVB. So I'm not sure what animal you're talking about. It's kind of different for each one.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like usually, like blue-tongued skinks, they don't need vitamin or like calcium with D3, do they?
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, you said that blue-tongued skinks, they don't need.
I believe they can get it through just the UVB, but basically, since he didn't specify what he's talking about, or what animal he's talking about, it's just so specific for each one.
Yeah, because I was remembering, like, usually if reptiles already have a UVB bulb, they can get, if you give them calcium with D3, it gives them like some kind of sickness, like a D3 overload. It's like the word on the street, basically. I'm not sure if it's legit or not, but I mean, I don't really know. Like with my bearded dragon, she's got a UVB bulb, but I really like switch it up with my calcium and my vitamin powder, and my calcium with D3 and without. One thing I just wanted to mention before we move on is that I just remembered I don't actually have the calcium that I got with my leopard gecko. I actually gave that to my friend and got a new one that's also phosphorus free. It's from the cricket fluckers or flukers or whatever, the cricket farm. Anyways, yes, Alex, please make that video. There are definitely some reptiles that shouldn't be kept as first-time pets. So
there's plenty of those.
Yeah.
That'll be a long video.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've already made a video on that, so you know, cross promotion kind of stuff.
More people are asking who you are. This is Noah's Ark Exotics with me.
Yeah.
Channel isn't in the description right this second, but once this is re-uploaded, you can get to his channel easily.
Yeah. Hold on. Actually, no, I better not send something because then it'll mess my thing up. Anyways, alright. Do you think you'll ever get a monitor lizard or tegu? Now, you pretty much already answered that question, but would you like to elaborate?
I'm really hoping for a monitor sometime within the next, like, I don't know, 10 years. And tegus are really cool, but not something on my radar right now, so.
Yeah, maybe, exactly. Okay, so somebody bred green anoles for their vine snake. I've heard that you need to do that, right?
I don't know, but that's very cool. That you.
Yeah.
Do you have a tegu? I do not. Maybe someday I will, but I don't know. Can you give me tips on herping? It depends. I'm not the master at herping. I'm still learning, just like you. But I guess it depends what you're looking for, like, and where you're located, what state or country, because every climate is going to be different. If you're in more hot areas, you're probably going to be looking for snakes and stuff. So some drier snakes like copperheads or other snakes like that are going to be in more fields and stuff, while then you can find more amphibians are going to be around water sources. Basically every animal you're going to find is going to be somewhat near a water source, unless it's some sort of tortoise. But yeah, just in the location of water sources, flipping lots of things like flipping rocks and logs and tin. Just remember to put it back after to try and keep the environment healthy and safe. But they're basically everywhere depending on where you are, so
yeah,
just kind of, you have to figure out your area to see what works best.
Cool. Alright, I want to go back to this question though. So, baby Beardy has stress marks in tank, but when I hold him he doesn't have. Why is this? So, stress marks, hold on. You wouldn't happen to know what stress marks are, would you?
Shane, I just scrolled down in the chat. He said if your bearded dragon has stress marks inside its enclosure, that's a strong indicator it's not happy with one or more aspects of the environment / husbandry. So that's what he said. Which
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I was just looking this up. Yeah, stress marks are like despite, I don't know. That's a weird source actually. I'm not gonna use that source. Um,
Well,
do
if
you
you're
have do you have a tegu?
I already answered that one.
Oh, okay. Which one haven't you answered? Can you give me tips? No.
Yeah, I did
Uh,
that. No.
what are your favorite things that you already looked? Did you answer that one? What are your favorite things to find when herping?
No, I didn't answer that.
Okay. What are your favorite things to find when herping?
For me, snakes have to be on top of the list. They're just the most fun to catch and handle out in the wild. And then after that, probably salamanders. Mostly because they're probably the hardest thing to find, which is weird because North Carolina has the biggest variety of salamanders just about anywhere. So, snakes and salamanders are my favorites.
Okay. Um, what are your favorite? I don't know. I like finding garter snakes because that's pretty much all I find around my place. But I mean, the other thing, I guess salamanders as well. And not only just salamanders in general, but like specific type of salamanders that I haven't found before. Like for example, just this little bit I found like a couple when I like maybe a week ago I found my first yellow spotted salamander, which was so cool because like the big bright yellow spots on them and it looked really nice. And then I found a baby one which was so tiny, it was like born that day, and then a huge one, so that was interesting. But see, I guess it's more like stuff like that, but hopefully sometime soon I'll be able to go out and find I don't know, something a little more like other than your run-of-the-mill stuff kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's talking right now? We pretty much answered that, I think. That's a little while ago. How long has it been going on for? Except in Canada, what? Hold on.
I don't even know where you are now.
I skipped
Where's this
way.
going?
No, Ark Exotics, Fiji. Okay, here we go. So you've been going for you. Except in Canada.
To anyone that just recently joined, this is our first basically Q&A live stream. We expect it to be a bit bumpy, but we're working on it. So if you just joined, you can ask questions and just chat with whatever we go over.
Yeah.
That's
So,
yeah.
except in Canada, you guys are lucky enough to keep the Fiji Island iguanas. Okay. Never heard of those guys. I don't think I'm interested in keeping any of those guys. Just because, I don't know what. Maybe I would be. Maybe one day I'll get myself a pair of Fiji Island iguanas. I don't know. 5 hours. Blaze Herping, that's the other guy in the broadcast. What? Blaze Herping? The other guy.
Telling Blaze Herping who it was.
Oh, okay. Is there any video or is it just audio? What's your... Yeah, it's just audio.
Yeah, it's just audio. I mean, I have some video going for you, but nothing interesting.
Yeah. What's your opinion on... Oh, boy. What's your opinion on sand with leopard geckos?
In my opinion, well, I'll just quickly go over kind of what the debate is. Some people say that sand will cause impaction, which can long-term hurt your gecko. Others say that it's fine, like as long as they don't ingest it while they're eating. My opinion is I don't feel the need to take the risk. There's some people that have had their geckos on sand for like tons of years and they've been just fine. But I actually put my gecko on sand and he refused to eat and he was not happy on it, so I immediately removed it. But my opinion is just I don't feel like taking the risk, but since people have been fine with it, it's different for everyone.
Right, yeah, and like I see a whole bunch of things on the internet going like, you know, there's more than one way to care for a leopard gecko kind of thing, you know? Like it's not just, you have to follow all these rules specifically. It's more broad, you know, like leopard geckos I think are the hardest reptile on the planet at this point, like is in captivity. Like is going back to your leopard gecko on sand. When you put your leopard gecko on sand, what could have happened is that because it wasn't on sand before, it could have just like, because I know like if leopard geckos are changed, like a change of scenery, it could be kind of like stressful for them. So I mean, it could be something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wasn't there with you with your gecko, so I have no right to say anything there.
I kept him on it for like a week, but he was like always on one of his hides. He like refused to walk in the sand. But reptile carpet's just easier to maintain, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. I've also it's kind of funny because I've heard people say bad stuff about reptile carpet as well, which I've also got. So I'm just living it on the edge, I guess. I don't know, but seriously, like, because I guess because when I had my African fat tail, it was on reptile carpet after I got it, which it did like better than what the previous owner had gotten me to put on it, which was nothing. It bare bottom tank. So, which is really weird because my vet said that didn't know what the heck was going on with these people in their minds, but basically my vet said that the reptile carpet wouldn't have done any harm to it, but it being on the tank with no bottom was basically what did it in, because it was like a chain reaction, really. It went from losing all its nails to then losing the ability to shed its feet properly, and then like its kind of body kind of fell with it, and then because of that it wasn't really able to shed its like the rest of its body very well, because it would spend too much energy trying to shed its feet and stuff, and it was like kind of really irritating. Like, I mean, if you had all your nails ripped out of your hand, would that not be irritating?
I wouldn't
Like,
be the biggest fan of it.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't know, it's just something interesting. I think Herping SoCal should submit his vids. That is so true.
You can if you. I just need like permission so that I don't get attacked by YouTube
I'll-
or anything.
I'll get him to
I know
get you
some people already
permission.
emailed me. I need to reply to those and stuff. But if you want your videos to be added to the stream, then email me at alex@herping.com.
Okay. Welcome, Blaze Herping. What do you guys plan to do with your animals once college time rolls around? I've actually got a plan, but I want to see what you guys have, or what you have an idea of what you're gonna do.
I guess very local college or something, so that I have easy access to them. I'm not completely sure though. But
See, like up in Canada, you might have something similar down there. I'd expect you to, but there's a service where you can actually, like, if you're going somewhere, like moving long distance, there's a service where you can get your reptiles shipped safely to that area.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's interesting, and they get shipped straight there, like very safely. So it's interesting, and really easy for me to transport my tanks and whatnot. So that'd be probably what I'd do. But yeah. Oh, sorry, I thought the vitamins with D3 are bad, but thanks for correcting me. Stop typing in caps. Phosphorus isn't bad for reptiles. They need a certain amount of it. Right, yeah, that's what I meant to say, is that I didn't say it, though. I guess that's my bad. Phosphorus, I guess there's a lot of things that reptiles, even us,
Just
we
saying
need
that.
a little bit of it in our diet, but too much is not good, like, yeah, reason someone's lack it is because farm-raised non-wild insects lack proper nutrition and are thus unbalanced. Long time no see. Will you ever go to the Croatan National Forest, Alex?
Oh, the Croatian. That's on the North Carolina coast, I think. I've never actually been to the national forest, or to the actual forest. For some reason, I don't know why. But I need to actually travel more for herping. But I don't have anything planned for it, but hopefully sometime.
Yeah. I was gonna say, did you ever join Matt in his Facebook group for younger reptile enthusiasts? No. I'm going this weekend. Blaze Herping's going to that national forest this weekend.
Wait, what face? Oh, did someone invite you to a Facebook group?
No.
Oh.
They're just talking amongst themselves, which is perfectly fine.
Okay.
Message him ask. Okay. Oh crap. There's a huge reptile expo coming to Hampton, that's Virginia, right? Hampton,
Where
VA.
I don't even.
Oh, sorry. I think I went back up and.
Whoa.
Whoa! I went way down. Holy crap. Make more Herping. Yeah. Oh yeah, stress marks and insides enclosure. This is a strong indicator. Yeah, we already read that. It's not girl and boy parts. Yeah, I got that. After I looked it up. That's totally fair, Alex. That's the right attitude to have. No idea what that's for. Agreed. Agreed on what? What is the next reptile you'd like to get, and what is your dream reptile? We pretty much already answered that. You said like a monitor, right?
Yeah, either
And
like
then-
a water or savannah monitor would be my dream. Not
Yeah.
next, but
Right. Yeah, I don't even know. My issue with housing Leos on pure sand is not the fact it poses an impaction risk. Their risk is almost zero with proper husbandry, but rather it's just not natural ground covering to them. That is very true.
I've had so many people argue with me saying, like, go Google leopard gecko habitats and you'll see them all over sand.
Right, yeah.
I don't know what they're searching. But
Actually, I found something that I might try on with my leopard gecko. I've been looking for it for so long, and it finally showed up at my PetSmart, which is crazy. I don't usually shop at my PetSmart, but I just went there because they had a sale, and it was like probably the best thing you can put on a leopard gecko's tank. It's basically like it's not sand, and it's not particulate substrate. It's like a cross between sand and a repticarpet. It's like
I think I've seen it. It's like stuck to the reptile carpet, sort of.
kind of, I guess. I don't.
I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like got larger kind of rocks there, and it's impossible for them to ingest any of it, and it's very interesting. But other people do prefer carpet or eco earth, and eco earth is fairly good. Yeah, and I guess.
I've seen a lot of people say eco earth isn't good for geckos, but I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, well, I guess it's like, I don't know. The eco earth I get is different than the eco earth everybody else in the world gets, apparently, because everybody else says that it's different. I think it's like because we don't get the same eco earth. That's what I'm assuming. Just because it's so, I don't know, like North America or something, or Canada. I don't know, but because like the eco earth we get is just completely particulate, and it's not like there's no option you get. Like there's no there's two types of eco earth, I guess. There's the ones in the bricks that you add water to, and the ones that yeah, and then there's the ones that are just in loose bags. And either one of them, once they expand, they're completely loose. They're just as loose as sand. And in my experience, like I've got eco earth in my Lacertus tank actually, and in fact in my Lacertus tank it's a mixture of sand and eco earth because it's a nice burrowing substrate. But I don't know. Anyways, like he said, sand, soil, clay mix is much more appropriate. Their feet are not evolved to walk on something totally loose, long toes with claws. Yeah.
When I had my gecko on sand for like a week, he was constantly sinking in it.
Right. Yeah.
I still feel bad that I put him through that for just a couple days.
Yeah. It's kind of like I almost feel like because my leopard gecko's been on sand for so long, he's kind of adapted to be like it. Like he doesn't sink at all, and he's got like a good inch and a bit of sand in there. So, I mean, he's almost evolved to walk on sand, I guess, and he's evolved to do that stuff. And it's kind of odd how things like that work. Like
I guess more like adapted, just personally.
Yeah. Yeah, but not, it's by any means not like a rule. Like, like I gotta stress that I would never truly recommend sand to anybody. Just that it worked for me, and I didn't even do it personally, so I wouldn't even know how to get them to start on it. I got the leopard gecko with sand in it, and I just decided, you know what, I don't want it to have too much of a change because I read that would stress out the reptile. But yeah, so that's what I heard. Oh boy, who's talking right now? No, oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was painful. The quest for the garter snake, that was interesting. Think about what you do to herps when you go to college. I didn't, and when I left for college, I had to rehome a lot of them. Yeah, so
That's a good point. Thank you for that.
yeah, so like you said, you'll, I don't know, get to a closer college or whatever, and then I've got that wonderful service that doesn't actually cost that much, which is nice. Would you rather? Oh boy. I have a question, Noah. How hard is it to put logs back when you are herping? Well, funny story. Oh my gosh. I went with my friend the other weekend, and we flipped a log, and it was our first log. Like, we found a garter snake laying pretty much right on the trail as soon as we got there, which was awesome. And it was looking good. And our first log we flipped, there was a wasp nest under it. And my friend happens to be extremely allergic, so that was interesting. But how hard is it to put logs back when you're herping? Usually, you just kind of get used to it. And then you just kind of like, I guess, find a technique that works for you. Like, I'll lift up...
You're trying to throw some shade on your herping.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, you gotta... I don't know.
Since there's less questions now, I actually got a question that I thought was interesting. So I want to hear your guys' opinions because I'm not sure. Someone asked if they should vape around their snakes or not.
If they should what?
If they should vape.
Oh,
Because I know that they have very delicate lungs and stuff, so you definitely shouldn't like smoke. I wouldn't be surprised if my corn snake has cancer or something because the previous owner smoked around him so much. Surprisingly, he's doing really well. But I'm not sure about vaping around snakes.
yeah, I don't know.
So if anyone knows about that, then let us know.
How long is the biggest snake you've ever caught?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Nothing gigantic. Probably like 5 or maybe 5 foot rat snake eraser or something.
Oh.
But it's
The
always
biggest...
on the smaller side.
Right, yeah. The biggest I found was like a couple of weekends ago. I found a northern water snake, and it was close to 45 inches long, which is nice. You wouldn't smoke around your snakes and don't vape around them. Exactly, yeah,
Like I
stupid.
said, I don't know anything about vaping really, so.
Right, so no, we got 3 for no, don't, 4 for no, and Shane says absolutely not to vaping anywhere near the reptiles. They're extremely sensitive relative to us. What may appear mild to us is extremely yeah. It's basically like,
Okay, I guess everyone agrees.
yeah, I mean,
I'll let that person know.
I figured it was not much of a like a question there. I figured it was fairly obvious, but this pretty much just proves it. Any other questions you've got?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Not right now.
Like, wasn't there questions on the other episode or on the video?
Go check that.
Yeah, and then we'll go through like maybe 2 or 3 of those, and then I might need to start getting going here.
Yeah,
Oh.
this has been, how long? It's been
We've been talking for
over
about an hour and 40 minutes, yeah. Pugnado says, I was so close to catching a 6-foot black rat snake, but the counselor at camp wouldn't let me grab it. And it's so
I hate when
funny.
people do that. They
I
still
know.
do that to me.
It's like Blaze Herping, I think, if he's still here. I saw his video, oh my gosh. If he's really here, like, geez. You're like my idol right now. Like, your videos, your herping videos are so amazingly well done. I mean, goodness gracious. But I remember watching that video of yours where the camp counselor made you put down that northern water even though you were going to put it in a safe spot, and they thought it was a cottonmouth. It was so hilarious. I laughed. I laughed at your suffering. I know it's kind of weird, but seriously. Oh boy, this is going to get weird. So I'm from Georgia, okay. Cool.
Everyone's in North Carolina. Actually need to have a big like NC meetup or something.
DVD Pets were vaping at Repticon. DVD Pet sounds like a scummy company.
I just said something good about DVD Pets too.
What?
I said I always hear a lot of good stuff about DVD Pets.
Well, there's your one thing of bad stuff. They don't know that they're delicate, I guess. I don't know. What do I feed my bearded dragon? Here's what you feed your bearded dragon. Lots of stuff. There's not a specific thing. Well, I guess there's like insects. You can feed them. Like what I do, I don't just feed mine worms. I give it a variety of things like crickets, superworms. I never give it mealworms because it can't digest them properly for some reason. I guess it's because they're too small, is what I assumed, but I could be wrong. Other things, I don't know, waxworms, actually, she loves. She likes hornworms as well, and hornworms are actually not that, they're probably, I don't know, they're advertised as the healthiest feeder in Canada, but honestly, the healthiest feeder in Canada is the phoenix worms, which I've never actually tried, but you can feed them lots of things. I think if I look hard enough, I might be able to find silkworms as well, but anyways, moving on, insects like crickets and mealworms coated in calcium and lettuce, yeah, pretty much. Lettuce, like, another thing that you'd like, from my, one of my people that I really look up to in this hobby, told me that, you don't want to keep them on the exact same veggie, because if they do decide they don't want that veggie anymore, it'd be really hard to get them on something else. Whereas like what I do is like every 2 weeks I change it up. So like 1 week I'll have kale, another week, well actually I've kind of stopped using kale because kale's kind of, kale's okay, I guess, in certain situations, but in other situations, like, it can be calcium binding, and, like, I'm pretty sure it can be calcium binding. I talked to a nutrition person, like an actual nutrition person, I don't know. Anyways, the point is, sometimes it can be calcium binding, but not all the time. And it also depends on the type of kale you get. Like, there's different species of kale that are, like, they might taste similar, but they're different, like, actual species. So you just gotta do all that kind of research. But, like, kale, collard greens, and, what is it? Kale, collard greens, and, what's the other one I feed them? Dandelion greens.
Oh.
They love them all. And then usually I'll supplement it with things like squash, or, I don't know, things like bell pepper every now and then, and other things like that.
You should make a video on this.
Yeah, I could. Mealworms are perfectly fine. Okay.
Like Noah's beauty has mealworm digestive problems.
Superworms, or Mariah worms, or king worms for all you other people. They digested perfectly fine, so it could be a problem with my bearded dragon, or it could be something else. But I don't know. I've basically said that I'll keep with mealworms out of her diet just because they didn't agree with her, and you know, it's kind of like some humans are kind of not like they don't like they have indigestion for corn, right? So I guess it's kind of like that. What's your favorite book / TV show / movie?
Well, definitely Adventure Time. If you've seen any part of my setup, it's covered in Adventure Time stuff. But
right.
There's no show better than Adventure Time, so don't argue with me on that.
I actually found a really good book, a really good reptile book about reptile smuggling. Like not about how to do it, but about like people, Tom Crutchfield, he's a big name in reptiles now, I guess. And when he first got into it, he was like smuggling reptiles out of different countries. There was a documentary with him on like the Discovery Channel, which is really interesting. I watched that, but anyways, I don't know. It's just something interesting, I guess. I forget what the book is called though, which really sucks. But anyways, whoa, I skipped ahead again. This chat is getting.
I feel like I should be maintaining this chat, but you're doing a better job than me.
Do you have any tips for breeding fish? I do. Types of fish. Oh boy. Let's just stick with live bears, okay? Because that's what I've got the most experience in. So live bears, I love live bears. I love all types of live bears: swordtails, platies, mollies, endless live bears, and guppies. I love them all. I personally was able to breed mollies. Mollies were absolutely awesome. I've still got the babies. It was their first group, so usually with fish, because it was my fish's first group of babies, like in her life, the genetics were off, and she hasn't given birth since. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but I mean, I don't know. Just make sure that you have a way to collect the babies and that you're monitoring them quite often. Make sure you have a male and a female fish. I think that's kind of, necessary. Anyways, just kind of basic stuff. There's lots of care sheets online, and usually that's what I used. But maybe someday I'll do video on it. I think I did a breeding molly video on my channel. If not, I'm a wacko, because I don't know why I wouldn't. I might have done one on my fish tank channel actually, which does exist. Some guy used to breed fish, geckos and more. Cool. Pugnado, get out of here, JK. What type of fish? Bristling nose plecos with the Rayleigh Repticon in November. Are you going to that?
Which one? Wait, where's
the Rayleigh Repticon in November.
Oh yeah, Raleigh.
Raleigh,
I'm probably
whatever.
going to that. I'm not sure which day.
Okay,
But hopefully
cool.
I'll be there.
Yeah. Big reptile YouTube community meetup. Well, way to keep me out of this, guys. Thanks. Yeah. They're egg bears, so they will curl up and cave in into something and lay the eggs. Wait, are we talking about mollies? Mollies are live bears. So they give birth to live young, and trust me, I've seen it happen. So, I mean, I don't know. I like mollies. It's just my type of fish, I guess. It's the only type of fish I will ever recommend to anybody as like a starter fish. Like betas, I mean, I don't know, but mollies definitely, like hands down. I know the basics, but I want to know what the pH and carbon should be. So that stuff is kind of different. So pH and carbon, like as far as okay, so pH is like acidity. Can you turn your mic up there, Alex?
Oh, me?
Yeah, just a bit more.
Is that better, or is that too loud?
Oh, no, that's good. That should be better. But pH is like the acidity in the water, and the carbon is basically like the carbon in the water, I guess. Like carbon in the filter. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I mean, it could be a whole bunch of different numbers. There's a specific range. I guess like it's not too specific though. It's like a broad range. It's specific, but it's broad at the same time. If you understand what I'm saying. There's a lot of room for error, I guess, especially if a good filter. So what I'd suggest is you go and get an API filter is what I use, which I think are awesome. So those guys are perfect for maintaining balance in pH and carbon. So go check those guys out. Waste herping. How cool would it be to meet up with everyone and see the whole herping YouTube community in our area? That would be so cool if I didn't live in stinking Canada. A Herper's Dream is doing a live Q&A now as well. Shane says, yeah, no, to be honest, missing mealworms from the diet won't be depriving her nutritionally speaking anyway. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, she isn't getting anything like bad out of it. If anybody's has any ideas though, I'm trying to get my Uromastyx to shed. He's doing well. The only problem, like, Uromastyx don't shed as much as things like bearded dragons or leopard geckos, for example, but I'm trying to get him to shed. It looks like there's a little, like, lump on him. It's like I'm worried it's something worse, but usually it's not. It's like, it's not a lump. It's not a lump. It's like a bunch of shed skin that I'd never noticed before until he started shedding. So I went online and I looked up, and a lot of people were saying do what you would do with like a bearded dragon or a leopard gecko and give it a bath. So I tried that, but that didn't really seem to work. So I'm open to ideas before we end the stream. I gotta get going here soon, actually. Anyways, apparently Pugnato likes Adventure Time too, Alex. So
Yay. Well, like you know.
yeah. Yeah. This has all been a lot of fish stuff, so that's why I want to get you to answer more questions here, Alex, because it's not just about me. It's not just about me. It's about you too. You're the one there. Blazed Herping private message me on Instagram. Reptile Roman. I am a reptile smuggler if you count bringing your beardy to a 7-Eleven smuggling. Oh my gosh, I would so want to see that. Oh my gosh, yes. I brought my bearded dragon into my pet store, and somebody asked if it was for sale, and it wasn't, but that was interesting. It was really funny because a lot of people got to pet her, and she was really nice. And I didn't know if it was a he or she then, so that's why I brought it in. I was like, can you sex my bearded dragon for me? Because, I don't know, for some reason, when I looked at pictures online and looked underneath, I was like, what are you, gender neutral or something? I didn't know. I couldn't, my eyes weren't very good, so now I've got a better understanding. That was back when I first got her. What about betta fish? What about betta fish? I don't really like betta fish. They don't look very nice. Next.
Harsh.
Yeah. Sorry, betta fish people. I mean, they're just not for me, you know. I like more community fish tanks. So sorry for reporting you. I meant to reply. Okay, so apparently Pugnato accidentally reported somebody, but meant to reply, so I don't know what that means, but anyways, do you have a betta fish? I don't. My sister used to. I used to have like 20, like over my lifetime, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, she's talking about Pugnato. Is there any feeders that you guys breed? Do you breed any feeders, Alex?
I'm working on breeding dooby roaches and mealworms. Mealworms are having some problems for some reason, but I'm growing some roaches up so that they can breed, I can save more money.
Yeah. So right now, I'm in the process of breeding. I've already bred mealworms. I've got a stable colony going. I've had that stable colony going for about a year now. I'm starting to breed superworms or mariah worms or king worms or whatever, because that's what I use most often, because my Lacerda's diet consists mainly of mariah or king or superworms. I like to call them superworms, alright? Superworms. That's the only insect that they actually really eat. Every now and then I might throw in like a cricket or two. So I breed superworms, mealworms, and also I'm starting to breed waxworms as well. I've really got to get going here soon, so I'm going to answer like 2 more questions and then I've got to get going, alright? Sound good?
We can do speed round.
Alright.
And just finish it up.
When's your next Q&A? What career would you like to have involving Herps? I would totally love being I'd probably like to be like a herpetologist or something like that. Anyways, I've really got to go now, so thank you guys. Alright, so I am going to get going now, so.
Yep, I'm going to go ahead and end this off. Of course, the 24/7 thing will continue. We need more videos. There's only about 3 hours of footage right now. So if you want to submit your videos, email it to me at alex@goherping.com. But yeah, that's it for this first live Q&A.
Yeah.